The Enfield poltergeist is one of the most famous cases of paranormal activity in history. It began in 1977 in Enfield, England, when a single mother and her two daughters began to experience strange and unexplained events in their home. The girls claimed to be pushed, slapped, and pinched by unseen forces. Furniture would move on its own, and objects would fly through the air. The events were witnessed by police officers, journalists, and a team of paranormal investigators. The case remains unsolved to this day. The Hodgson family lived at 284 Green Street in Enfield. The family consisted of Peggy Hodgson, a single mother of 4 children, Margaret, 13, Janet, 11, Johnny, 10, and Billy, 7. The haunting began in August 1977, when Peggy heard loud noises coming from the girls' bedroom. When she went to investigate, she found the girls huddled in the corner, terrified. They told her that the chest of drawers had been moving towards the bedroom door. Over the next few weeks, the activity escalated. Furniture would move on its own, objects would fly through the air, and the girls would be physically assaulted. Janet was the focus of most of the activity. She would be levitated, her clothes would be torn, and she would speak in strange voices. The Hodgsons called the police, but the officers could not find any explanation for the events. They also called in a team of paranormal investigators from the Society for Psychical Research, SPR. The SPR investigators witnessed some of the activity, including furniture moving and objects flying through the air. They also recorded strange noises and voices. The case of the Enfield poltergeist was widely publicized, and it attracted a lot of attention from the media. Some people believed that the haunting was genuine, while others thought that the girls were faking it. There was even a suggestion that the mother, Peggy Hodgson, was somehow responsible for the activity. The haunting lasted for about 2 years, and then it abruptly stopped. No one knows what caused the haunting, or why it stopped. The case remains unsolved to this day. There are many different theories about what caused the Enfield poltergeist. Some people believe that it was a genuine case of paranormal activity, while others believe that it was a hoax. There is no scientific evidence to support either of these theories. The case of the Enfield poltergeist is one of the most fascinating and mysterious cases of paranormal activity in history. It has been the subject of books, movies, and documentaries. The case continues to be debated by paranormal experts and enthusiasts alike. The Amityville Horror is the story of a family who claimed to have been terrorized by paranormal forces after moving into a haunted house in Amityville, New York. The case has been the subject of books, movies, and documentaries. The story begins on November 13, 1974, when Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered his entire family in their home at 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville. He claimed that he was persuaded to kill them by voices he heard in the house. 1 year later, George and Kathy Lutz and their 3 children moved into the house. After 28 days, the Lutzes fled the house, claiming to have been terrorized by paranormal phenomena while living there. They reported seeing apparitions, hearing voices, and being physically assaulted. The Lutzes' story was soon picked up by the media, and it quickly became a sensation. The house was dubbed the Amityville Horror House, and it became a popular tourist destination. There have been many investigations into the Amityville Horror, but no one has been able to definitively say whether or not the events that the Lutzes described actually happened. Some people believe that the Lutzes were simply making up the story, while others believe that they were genuinely haunted by the ghosts of the DeFeo family. The Amityville Horror is a controversial case, and there is no easy answer to the question of whether or not it is true. However, the story has captured the imagination of people around the world, and it continues to be told and retold in books, movies, and documentaries. Here are some of the most common claims made by the Lutzes. They saw the apparitions of the DeFeo family members. They heard voices calling their names. They were physically assaulted by unseen forces. The water in the house turned to blood. The furniture moved on its own. There was a foul odor in the house. The Lutzes' claims were investigated by a number of people, including police officers, journalists, and paranormal investigators. However, no one was able to find any physical evidence to support the claims. Some people believe that the Lutzes were simply making up the story. They argue that the story was too similar to the plot of a popular horror novel that was published shortly before the Lutzes moved into the house. Others believe that the Lutzes were genuinely haunted by the ghosts of the DeFeo family. They point to the fact that the Lutzes were not the only people who reported strange experiences in the house. The Amityville Horror is a complex and controversial case. There is no easy answer to the question of whether or not it is true. However, the story continues to fascinate and intrigue people around the world. The Staircase is a true crime story that has been the subject of a documentary series and a miniseries. In 2001, Michael Peterson was convicted of murdering his wife Kathleen, who was found dead at the bottom of the stairs in their home. Peterson maintained his innocence, claiming that Kathleen's death was an accident. The case was highly publicized and there is still much debate about what really happened. Here is a brief overview of the case. On December 9, 2001, Michael Peterson called 911 to report that his wife Kathleen had fallen down the stairs in their home in Durham, North Carolina. When the police arrived, they found Kathleen dead at the bottom of the stairs. She had suffered multiple blunt force injuries to the head. Michael Peterson was arrested and charged with murder. The prosecution argued that Peterson had murdered Kathleen in a fit of rage after she found out about his bisexuality. The defense argued that Kathleen's death was an accident, and that she had fallen down the stairs while intoxicated. The trial was highly publicized, and there was a lot of conflicting evidence. The prosecution presented evidence that Peterson had been having an affair with a man, and that he had a history of violence against women. The defense presented evidence that Kathleen had been drinking heavily on the night of her death, and that she had a history of falling down the stairs. After a 6-week trial, Michael Peterson was found guilty of murder and sentenced to life in prison. He has maintained his innocence ever since. The Staircase documentary series, which was released in 2004, followed the case from the beginning. The series was praised for its unbiased and in-depth look at the case. It also raised questions about the fairness of the trial and the reliability of the evidence. The Staircase miniseries, which was released in 2022, is a fictionalized version of the case. The miniseries stars Colin Firth as Michael Peterson and Toni Collette as Kathleen Peterson. It has been praised for its acting and its suspenseful storyline. The Staircase is a complex and fascinating case that has captured the attention of people around the world. There is no easy answer to the question of whether or not Michael Peterson is guilty. However, the case has raised important questions about the justice system and the reliability of eyewitness testimony.